following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. It is 4:02 p.m., time for the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3 FM. I am Loyd Kirby, the marketing manager here at WLCN, and as we do most Tuesdays, we bring in someone from the area with doing something newsworthy or has something to talk to us about, and today is no exception. It is the first Tuesday of the month, and we actually got you here on schedule this month.
Yeah,
so.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. We appreciate your flexibility. We had some other guests that we had to work around, but Mayor Tracy Welch is here, Mayor of Lincoln. So if you have questions or comments about anything, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can email your questions, 4 p.m. 411 at WLCNonline.com. I sarcastically asked you if you'd been up to much since last time I seen you, so we might as well deal with it's not really an elephant. It's the topic that's been in the news as of late as far as tourism goes for Lincoln, for Logan County, etc. I guess my first question that I wanted to ask, and I don't know if I've ever really heard this, is there something in particular that for you as mayor of Lincoln that sort of motivated this conversation happening at this point, where, for those who don't know, the talk has been for there to be a City of Lincoln tourism department versus the current arrangement with a Logan County tourism department,
yep.
under which the City of Lincoln would fall, under that umbrella. But you've made mention of your preference or floated the idea of a Lincoln tourism department. Is there what is the rationale that you think having a Lincoln tourism department would be advantageous to the city versus the current arrangement?
Well, the decision was made for a number of reasons, but I can say that for probably at least the past 2 years or more, I have fielded feedback and questions off and on about how successful tourism really is in Logan County. And while I believe that the Tourism Bureau has been doing what they feel is best for tourism, we see other people such as Atlanta, not too far from where we're sitting, and they're just knocking it out of the park. And I've heard feedback from hotels and constituents, and so there hasn't been a situation where there was an opportune time to have the discussion, but as chance would have it, there was the resignation of the tourism director, and then the Bureau had an audit done of just their whole organization. And so it was really the timing of the director leaving, the results of the audit, and the fact that the City of Lincoln is the primary contributor of funds to the Bureau. And if we're fielding the feedback, I felt that perhaps it's time that we have a conversation about, could the City of Lincoln run a tourism program and have other types of successes. And so that's what really drove the decision and the request to the council. And we're moving forward still as it stands. There's a meeting again tonight, and we're working through the details.
Right. And you had, I guess it was last week, a joint meeting of the county as well as the city that got together, and this was the primary topic of discussion, although other things came up, I believe. Was there any sort of a feel or an overwhelming sentiment that you could read from those in attendance about they liked the idea, they wanted to keep things as they were, or was it kind of a mix of opinions?
I think it's kind of a mix, to be honest. Those of us at the city who have been more close to this topic, we have a little bit more information, which is driving our decisions. The joint meeting was really to bring the county to the table, because there are parties that would like to see what's called the Certified Visitors Bureau remain a thing, and we are the only, if not one of a few, CVBs in the entire state of Illinois that only has one entity underneath them. Most CVBs have multiple entities, and obviously when you're pooling multiple resources in, you can get a lot more done. Sure. And so there are people that want to save the CVB, as I guess is a good way to put it. And we know that there are outlying communities other than Lincoln that still need to be served.
Right.
And so we want to be good partners with the county. And so we simply said, we'll contribute funds toward the CVB. We've ended up around $25,000, although it hasn't been decided by a vote of the council. But if we're going to do this moving forward, we'd like our partners at the county to be a contributor as well. And so that's really what the meeting was for, was to bring them up to speed, give them the information so that they can then make a decision as to if they want to fund it and how much they want to fund it.
Right. And again, for those who may not know, the primary source of funding, I believe, is the hotel motel tax. And is that a county tax or a city tax?
It is a tax that is generated at the hotel, and the city collects that.
Okay. So, for example, Atlanta has hotels. Is that part of that tax, or is that a separate entity, or does Atlanta not fall under that?
No, so that was one of the factors as well, is that Atlanta is in Logan County as well, but Atlanta keeps their hotel motel tax. They use it to run their tourism program up in Atlanta. Okay. So we're really following suit is what we're doing.
I see. Well, I did a little, not really research, but just some nosing around. I looked at surrounding Logan County. Actually, why don't we go ahead and take our break here, because this might get a little detailed. So once again, our guest is Mayor Tracy Welch, Mayor of Lincoln. He is here until 4:30. If you have questions or comments, we're talking right now about the future of the Tourism Bureau of Logan County, or Lincoln, or both, or however it may shake out. But questions, you can send those in 217-648-5510, or you can email us your questions, 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. We will be back in 2 minutes with Mayor Tracy Welch. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butter Burger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here with our guest, Mayor Tracy Welch of Lincoln. I want you to invite you to tune in tomorrow morning for Viewpoint with Dara Entwistle. That show kicks off at 8 a.m., runs until 8:30. She will have representatives from the Breezy Bluff Riding Academy located in rural McLean. I know they have several activities. They do some things around the holidays as well as different camps and lessons and things. So be sure to tune in for that, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Viewpoint with Dara Entwistle. Entwistle. But right now, as I said, we have Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch here as our guest until 4:30. So we were talking about tourism bureaus and specifically the Logan County Tourism Bureau. As I started to mention before we went to break, I did a little bit of just nosing around on the internet, and I found of the 8 counties that are adjacent to Logan, so there are 8 counties that touch Logan County: Mason, Tazewell, McLean, DeWitt, Macon, Sangamon, Menard, and Champaign. Now, some of those counties have a larger city than Lincoln. So, for example, McLean County has Bloomington, Macon County has Decatur, Sangamon has Springfield, and Champaign, the county seat, is Urbana, but they have Champaign-Urbana there. But of those remaining counties, most of them have some form of in some cases it's a tourism bureau, but in other cases it's just an organization that sort of promotes the city or the county. We can factor out also Tazewell County, that the county seat is Pekin, but most of their information that I saw came from the Peoria Convention and Visitor Bureau. But the remaining counties would be Mason, where Havana is the county seat, Menard, where Petersburg is the county seat, and then DeWitt County, where Clinton is the county seat. I guess the reason why I'm going through this is I just wanted to kind of go over these different arrangements. I found that Havana, as I mentioned, is the county seat in Mason County. They have a Chamber of Commerce, which also has a Arts Council, which kind of plans events and does some tourism type activities for the city, but again, a lot of their material also came from the Peoria Convention and Visitor Bureau. Menard County, Petersburg is the county seat. They have a tourism council, which is made up of 8 volunteers. And then, but the one that I thought was maybe the most analogous to Logan County would be DeWitt, where Clinton is the largest city. I don't know if they're the only ones with hotels or motels, but certainly they're the county seat and the biggest town there. They have a Chamber of Commerce, which is actually called the Chamber and Tourism, I believe it was Bureau. They have an executive board, 4 executive board members, 5 members of the board, and then the Chamber/Tourism Bureau has an executive director as well as an events coordinator. I tried to look at their source of funding, and I couldn't find that online other than the fact that they do have a Chamber of Commerce where businesses sign up to be members, and then there were fees based on the number of employees. I think the lowest was a business that had 1 to 3 employees could join for $226, and then a larger, I think it was up to 30 employees maybe, could join for $788. And then there were some other, you could be a friend of the chamber, you could, financial institutions were in a different ballpark that was not online. But have you looked at in all this, with this being sort of an ideal time to look at reconfiguring things, has the concept or the mention of a revived Chamber of Commerce for Lincoln or Logan County ever come up in this discussion?
That comes up every few months. But there's a substantial debt on the books for the chamber. And so unless somebody wants to make a donation of, I believe the last number I heard was $88,000 to settle up that debt, the chamber is a really hard hurdle to get over to bring that back. I will say, though, we have Loyd here. That Andrea Runge is the CEO of, and they fill that gap for us, so they do a really good job. But I think to your point and what you've pointed out is that there are different flavors of how tourism runs in different communities, municipalities, counties, etc. Like, for instance, Pontiac. Pontiac is a city-run tourism program. They're doing not exactly, but very close to what is being proposed at the city. And I did spend some time up there, as we talked about before, and that led some of the discussions, not all of them, because every place is different. But there are programs that are successful running in different models outside of a certified visitors bureau. And so
keep talking. We just lost your camera, but we can hear you.
Oh, that's okay. Oh yeah, I see it went out. So yeah, that's the model that we're trying to work towards, is working in a model outside of the CVB. There are some difference of opinions on the CVB itself and whether it is needed, whether it is not needed. I think that just depends on the person you speak with.
And as far as the Pontiac chamber goes, or tourism goes, how do they, were you able to dive in and see how they get their funding for their tourism bureau?
Hotel motel tax.
Okay, so it's basically the same setup financially, at least, as what we have here.
Yep.
And then I was trying to, I looked through the Logan County tourism website, and was looking at calendars of events and things. And maybe this is a discussion to be had, but for example, the Christmas parade, which is annually organized by tourism, has there been any talk of, if there is no Logan County tourism, will that parade just go away? Will it be adopted by the Lincoln tourism if there is such an entity? Or have we even gotten that far down the road to have those discussions yet?
Well, to answer your question, there is an entity. We've officially stood up the City of Lincoln Tourism Department.
Okay.
We have hired Scott McCoy to be our consultant. He's under contract with us now. We're working through the details, such small things like phones and office space and things like that. And we're working through budgets, but he was already hitting the ground running already. So there's some actual exciting tourism things that are going to be coming up that is in the works. So, I mean, we're working through that stuff.
Okay. And is there, how does that work exactly? You mentioned there's that Mr. McCoy is serving as a consultant. Are there, at this point, I'm guessing there aren't any other employees for the Lincoln Tourism Bureau per se?
The city program?
Right.
Scott's the consultant, and then we have staff at the city who can process payment of bills. We worked through our thoughts on how this could operate. We believe that it can be successful under that model. As with everything, we're gonna start in that approach. If we have to adjust, we do.
Okay. Just because I know at least the county tourism arrangements, there was a director, and then there was I'm not sure if the title was administrative assistant or office assistant, so I wasn't sure if you're looking to mirror that setup or go with what you got there. It sounds like you got. So we'll go ahead and take our second break now. We actually do have some other topics other than tourism to talk about, so we'll get to that with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch right after this break. And once again, if you have questions or comments, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can email your questions or comments, 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. here on WLCN 96.3 FM. We've been talking about Lincoln and Logan County tourism with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch here. Once again, you've got a few minutes, 217-648-5510 if you have questions of Mayor Welch. Before we went to break, we were talking about responsibilities of Logan County tourism, the fact there is now a Lincoln tourism entity that is rounding into shape. But initially, my question had to do with the activities and specifically the Christmas parade, if that would be where that might be going.
As it stands right now, the Christmas parade is still under the Logan County Tourism Bureau. If they decide that that's an event that they need to shed, then we'll talk about that. I can tell you that some of us at the city have experience organizing these parades, and I think we have the capabilities to get it done for us if we need to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And as we said before the break, there are other topics here we were going to talk to you about other than tourism. So let's move on to the another city development is the grounds of Lincoln Developmental Center and the Monarch Youth Center happening, but also the adjacent ground there that is now being gifted to the city. Is that a fair way to say it? Or
well, we don't have an answer on the ownership of the property. As it stands, it still belongs to CMS with the state.
Okay.
So.
But what are the plans for that once we do have some semblance of control as far as having a say in what can happen there? Do you have a sort of a vision or a game plan as far as how you'd like to move forward with that?
Well, at very high level, we're in discussions with the state, and there's a small group of a task force, we're calling it, that we've put together, various people in the community, and we're having discussions about remediation, but also what the future uses of that property could be. We've had one meeting. We took a brief pause to make sure that when the budget was passed for the state of Illinois, the money was still in there, because it is a substantial amount of money they put in there. So next steps are we're going to have another meeting and start talking about the demographics of the community, the needs of the community. We're looking at statistical data, and hopefully land on a couple options, and then take them to the city council and ask them what they would like to do as far as that property goes. And in the meantime, we need to do a site visit of the property. I've already been out there and took just a drive-through, but I think we want to take a closer look at it and really figure out what it is we want to do and convey that to the state. Yeah,
that certainly sounds reasonable.
Yep.
And this, of course, development, I'm guessing you've mentioned during previous visits that you're looking at a 5-year plan for the city. Are some of these plans or potential plans for the LDC grounds sort of folded into that larger plan for the city as well?
Yeah, the current strategic plan is at a very high level, but it drives a lot on economic development, and this is part of that economic development piece.
Okay. And as far as that 5-year plan goes, how is that being formulated? Is it just members of the council? Is it more of a cross section of the community, or how are you making the decisions and the factors that go into that?
Well, it's gone before the council in its current form, which is a draft, and the next step is to take it, marry it up with some other data that's been pulled together by Alderwoman O'Donoghue and Alderman Sanders, who have taken the lead on this. And then we're going to have to get it formalized, get it back before the council, and do a formal adoption with it. Everything right now is at a pretty high level. I think there's some more granular strategic things that we need to get baked in there to drive future budget discussions and things like that.
Okay. And speaking of budget discussions or budget items, I guess, a recent topic that has been discussed amongst the city is the sewer work out there on Campus View Drive, which is it underway, or is it what is the status of that at this point?
The council actually just voted to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Open Arms to start work on engineering and design of expansion of the city infrastructure out there. So that's taken us a while to work through those details, but we're moving forward on it.
And moving forward also, since we're into the summer now, the Third Fridays events, actually the first one happened the third Friday of last month, so I was unable to attend. I'm guessing You were there, or at least you've gotten some feedback on how things went. I'm guessing quite well.
All things considered, it was a little windy that day. We couldn't do bouncy houses, but there was a really good turnout. The weather was nice. So all in all, I think it was a good start to the season.
And the next one coming up, third Friday of this month would be the 20th. Okay, and that is the Nashville Nights one, correct?
Yeah, that's the big one of the year for us.
And so is it 5 different bands?
Typically, the Downtown Business Association, they actually organize all those. But I think that it's around 5 bands that they have down there.
I thought it was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can hop online and you'll be able to find that information. We'll also have it on the WLCNonline.com community calendar. Just checking our email here real quick to see if we got any questions in, and we have not. So looks like the last topic would be another event you've got planned for July 12th, another public interaction event with Coffee with the Mayor. And last one I think was fairly well attended once again, and as is typically the setup, not only do you show up, but you also bring some other folks from the city, whether it's council members, department heads, and so forth. Do you have those lined up yet at this point? I know you're still a few
Do not
weeks
have
out.
them lined up yet, but yeah, that's typically what I do. I bring a council member, a department head, and in the interest of working on our relationships with the county, we've had some county representatives. I know Brad Hauge was there last time. He wasn't officially invited, but he did come and attend, and so we brought him up, and if anybody had questions for him, he was readily available to answer those as well. So, and
were there any hot button issues or topics that sort of dominated the conversation, or was it just sort of a smattering of different
I think it was
folks wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I think it was really a hodgepodge of topics, and that's okay. I mean, that's the intent, is bring your concerns or things that are important to you, and we'll talk about them. So,
all right, and of course that next one is July 12th, 9 a.m. at Guest House Coffee and Pastries in downtown Lincoln, and you can see Mayor Welch. You'll have to forego the cheap seats, or I don't know, I guess you could bring your mobile device in and some headphones or earbuds or something. So, well, we are at 4:30, Mr. Mayor, so once again, thank you for joining us, and
thanks for having me.
Hopefully it'll be a little cooler next time you're here.
That's
and we'll hope for that anyway. So thanks to Tracy Welch for being here once again. Tune in tomorrow morning to Viewpoint with Dara Entwistle, as she will have representatives from the Breezy Bluff Riding Academy from rural McLean. That show kicks off at 8 a.m., Viewpoint with Dara Entwistle, and we'll be back next week on the 4 p.m. 411. Thank you for listening and watching this week. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.